what? I'm organized and I'm cleaned up? Wow, that looks way better. Whenever I travel and spend some nights in the ambulance, I always find newer ways to improve things and make things more convenient for me. Probably be always changing stuff and adding stuff as I go along. I just have so much fun doing it, and I hope you like what I've done. Well, I've gone to a few more places in the last little while, and next year I plan to travel down to the States in February and then the rest of Canada. Just like everybody having a junk drawer at home, I ended up with a junk drawer in my ambulance. In here I had everything stored away. I cleaned it out and I had my heater core, drill bits, screwdriver, my jack, tape measure, extra actuator. I had my vacuum in there, also a bunch of wire connectors. It was just a big mess, so figured, you know what, it's time to clean it out and make better use of what I had. So I hope you like what I did, and I'll get at her. Well, my first thing is to install my heater core. There was a heater core in the ambulance before. It was old and noisy and really big, so I'm just putting a small one in here, just get a little bit of extra heat while I'm driving, and I'll be installing that. Don't need to show you everything on there, but it'll be raised up the floor a bit. I'll have an air vent coming in and vents going onto the side, and once I put that in, I'll have a cover on the top that'll keep the sound down from the fan a bit, and we'll work on that. So I've been wanting to do this for months and months and months, and now of course it's springtime. I won't need it as much, but I'll be prepared for next winter. Well, I've got a few things done, and of course I want to do a few more. So on my cushions I made, this was my first attempt in sewing in a long time, so I'm going to clean it up a bit, split the seats in half so just one covers each drawer, and so I've got on the top, I've got screwdrivers, wrenches, some cutters, and on the bottom here I made a nice drawer that slides out. It actually slides out 22 inches, and I've got my press, and I've got a bunch of connectors, screwdrivers, hole saws, reciprocating saw, cut-off saw, and a whole bunch of parts for my multi-tool bit. So it's just so much easier and cleaner, and everything's in the way and easier to get at. Yeah, I also had a little electrical issue with my rear scene and my reverse, so it just turned out to be a bad connection on one of the Mulex pins, so it took me a little while to trace out. Would have been easier with two people, but you know, you do what you have to do, and that's all fixed as well. Yep, I finally took my front seat out to make some changes to it, but before we get to that, I'll just show you a friend of mine, Ken from ByteLok IT Solutions in Abbotsford, gave me his old Automotive PC. He put a new stereo in his vehicle, so he wanted to know if I wanted it, and said sure. So I always like to play with gadgets, and like everything I use, I like to recycle lots of stuff that I put in my ambulance. So I'll be putting a new 7-inch monitor in the front, and in the back I've purchased a dual output, one input to HDMI to two outputs, and I'll be connecting the computer also to my 24-inch monitor in the back with the Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, so I could do work, watch videos, or whatever I want with it. The PC will also be tied into my 4G network that I have in the ambulance as well. So I'm looking forward to completing the install. It has HD radio on it as well, so all I have to do is order a audio amplifier, and as soon as that's in, I'll be finishing the install. So I'm looking forward to having that all done. I also want to replace my inverter with the Renogy pure sine wave inverter. That'll come up soon. Actually, I cleaned up the floor, if you can see, and I also found like $1.75 and actually a couple pennies too underneath the seat, so it was a while before that seat I think was ever really cleaned underneath. So you can see that I'm happy that I took it out and cleaned it. Just looks so much better, and also checked for any rust underneath too, and there was none. Yeah, with the seat out, I am trying to find some replacement seats from a newer Ford that I can put in. I like to get ones with power seats, heated, and everything else, but I've been looking at records and I haven't been able to find anything yet. Maybe in my travels one day I'll find a record that has some that are in decent shape. But in the meantime, I had a problem with the seat didn't go far enough back, so I drilled new holes 1.5 inches back so I could adjust the seat further back. I didn't do it any further because on the adjustment I would have to make some modifications to the adjustment bar itself, but it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it, and then I'm just going to go put the seat back in and we'll make sure that it works. Okay, with the seat back in, have it all the way back, and now I find that my leg is sitting down. Before it wasn't touching always on the seat, so it was always a little bit of strain. So now I figured it'd be much more better for driving and much more comfortable. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you want to know more information on how I make the drawers or anything I do to the ambulance. I'll be more than happy to help. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.